It's silly, it's foolish, it's childish, it's embarrassing. Laughter is a form of vulnerability. It is a form of vulnerability, especially for somebody who's always like,
Yeah, that straight face, never crack a smile, tight lip.
right, you just gotta laugh your way through it because you have a choice, right? You
That's
can
right.
get yourself worked up in a tether, which leads to stress and anxiety, or you can laugh at yourself and release some feel good hormones in the process of it, right? Shift your day, start your day over. And so in laughter yoga, we have a series of exercises and we get to a point and then we do something called a laughter meditation.
Hello, and welcome to the Ask Martita Robbins podcast, where we explore the power of emotional freedom techniques, or EFT tapping, to transform your life, providing you with tools you need to tackle life's challenges head on. I'm your host, Martita Claiborne Robbins, here to guide you on your journey to greater mental wellness and emotional bounce back ability. In each episode, we'll explore ways to reduce chronic stress, anxiety, and burnout, giving you a practical guide for stress management, emotional healing, and a proven method to thrive in the midst of life's challenges. So tune in and let's get ready to tap into your best self. All right, so today it is my pleasure to have with me Natascha, the pro aging maverick of Hardee Life. And I'll share this at the end of the show as well as in the show notes. You can find her on Instagram and TikTok at Hardee Life. So that's HARDEELIFE. So, Natascha, would you mind sharing with us a little bit about who you are?
Yes. Thank you for having me. And I hope your audience gets a lot out of this. A little bit about myself. I'm a native New Yorker. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, and I've been living in Harlem for the last 40 years. So I'm 62, and I graduated from the High School of Performing Arts, which is the Fame School. Everybody knows it was Fame, right? Because now they call it LaGuardia. And from I've been dancing and in fitness since I was about 2 or 3 because my mother had a daily yoga practice. So I started with her as a toddler. And I tell people I've been in fitness for over 50 years. And one thing led to another. I went to dance, then I went to high school performing arts. I majored in dance. I'm a trained dancer. I danced for some years. And after, I don't know, whatever age I was, I just decided to transition into fitness. And I did fitness for many years. And I was like, I don't, and up into my 40s. And I was like, I don't want to do this the rest of my life. So I went to school and got my degree in occupational therapy. I did that for like 6 years. And I was still doing fitness. And I was saying, I realized once I went to school for occupational therapy, the issues were with people and not moving forward with their fitness goals, if you will, whatever they are, whether it's consistently exercising, whether it's weight loss, whatever it is, it's mental. It's not as physical as it was because by the time I left fitness, I had over 20 certifications in fitness because I did all different forms of fitness and I have multiple certifications in Pilates, multiple certifications in different forms of physical fitness, right? And I was thinking, oh, I need to have. I'm dating myself. There used to be a cartoon called Felix the Cat, and whenever he gets in a fix, he reaches into his bag of tricks. So he would have this bag, and he could pull out all kinds of things. And that's the kind of trainer I wanted to be, able to serve whatever needs my clients required, right? And once I went to once I got into occupational therapy and studied psychology, I realized the issue was mental with people. And then I went to school to become a certified life coach. So, in all of that, that brings me to around to when I got into my 50s and I realized that there was a lot happening and I knew nothing about it. It's like I blinked my eyes and I was 52, 53, 54, and I was no longer having a cycle. And I had been through all of these menopause things since I was in my early 40s, but didn't know what was happening to me. I just knew I just had these things happening. It never occurred to me that it was menopause. So I started talking about menopause probably about 8, 9 years ago, maybe now. And people thought I was nuts and it was asking me, why am I talking about it or whatever. So, and even before that, when I graduated coaching school, I wanted to do something called sexability because I felt like when people are in this stage of life, the stamina goes, the strength goes, the core strength goes, and the flexibility goes. And those are all the things you need to have a thriving sex life. So,
Okay.
well, all the coaches were saying you can't use that word, and so then I transitioned into talking about menopause and went from menopause to midlife to now pro aging maverick. So that's like kind of like a quick uh, chronological history of my existence.
Yes, and I appreciate you giving the backstory because I never knew that. I met you in 2022 in Clubhouse. Now, I don't know if Clubhouse is still going as strong as it was back then, but I joined a Clubhouse. We would do this thing every morning where certain ones would share a positive thought, something to encourage us, something to get us along our day. And I was like, "Who is Natascha?" Because she is so energetic. I mean, it's like 8 o'clock Eastern, and it's like you have already had your coffee or whatever it is. If you drink coffee, I don't know. You don't need it because because I'm like, this Natascha is on it. And when I met you, you were coaching women in midlife, and you also hosted a clubhouse room to do a laughter meditation or a laughter yoga. And I'm like, okay, this sounds too hilarious to not come to because what is it? Like, I know what yoga is, but a laughter yoga? Okay, I got to find out. So that's why I wanted to have you on today because this is something that our listeners need. This is something that so many people can benefit from. We live in a world where we don't really have many opportunities to laugh, and we know that we have to create our own joy. We're responsible for our own happiness. And by attending that session, I was already having a great day, but that made it one of the best days. And it ever since I would just remind myself, you know what? You need to laugh. You take yourself too seriously. Go ahead and laugh. So can you explain for us what laughter meditation is and how it originated?
Well, laughter yoga is a practice. It was discovered or created by a doctor in India named Dr. Mandan Kataria. And he was just tired of giving his patients medicine. He felt like there was another way for people to heal. And his wife was a yoga instructor. So he decided to combine whatever his wife was doing with something called pranic breathing, and he started in a park in 1990, and he just had a bunch of his patients come out and they did laughter exercises, they call them. And so the laughter yoga is a series of laughter exercises and also breathing, because when you laugh so much you need a little break so you can bring yourself back. People's mouth get dry, and we just do a series of laughter exercises. Now, the one thing you got to remember is in order to the benefit of laughter yoga is so that you can release the serotonins, the dopamine, the oxytocin.
Yeah, all those
That's the
feel good
benefit of
hormones. Yeah.
all the feel good hormones, and you have to laugh consistently for about 12 minutes. Now, to your point about the adults, we tend to be too serious. We don't have fun. We don't laugh at ourselves. And I gotta tell you, I was guilty of all of that before I got into laughter yoga. When I'm just not out here in the world, I'm an introvert extrovert, and people find it very difficult to believe that about me, that I'm an introvert extrovert. And I've learned from becoming a laughter yoga leader to laugh at yourself. And I find myself laughing at myself a lot more. Life is a lot lighter, and it really supports me as an individual. So if you just see something that happens, like you may drop something on the floor, normally like, or I can't find my keys, or
Right.
and you just laugh at yourself. Instead of doing all that, you can say, okay, I dropped my keys. I broke a glass. I can't find my keys. Where, you just gotta laugh your way through it, because you have a choice, right? You
That's
can
right.
get yourself worked up in a tether, which leads to stress and anxiety, or you can laugh at yourself and release some feel good hormones in the process of it, right? Shift your day, start your day over. And so in laughter yoga, we have a series of exercises, and we get to a point, and then we do something called a laughter meditation. And all that is that you put everybody together, like if we're in a room, you sit with your chairs together, back to back, or you can lay on the floor or whatever it is, and just laugh, just whatever to your heart contents. Like you just and you change the laughter, raise the volume, change the sound. Right? And the brain doesn't know the difference between real laughter and fake laughter. So you do fake laughter until you turn, and it normally turns into real laughter. So I feel like a lot of times people don't really understand why I'm so energetic early in the morning or what have you, because I'm an entertainer. I came up in the world of entertainment, so I already know if I'm gonna be on something or whatever, I get to take myself to a place before I get on. So when you guys would get me on the note to self dose of positivity on Clubhouse, by then, like, I had already taken my granddaughter to school. I had come back. That came on at 8 o'clock. I was walking back from the bus stop or whatever with her. So I was already, and I would she was, at this time, like preteen. She was like 11 or 12. So she always had like an attitude. And I would be saying to her that today's going to be a good day. Gonna be a good day. Today's gonna, that guy that was
Yeah,
on social media, like,
I had that as a ringtone. I still got it on my phone.
so I would be doing all of that in the morning, shifting her energy a lot of times. So by the time I got on with y'all, I had already amped myself up, because
I
I wasn't going to
see.
let her take me off of my game plan. You know what I'm saying?
I know that's right. And look, as an educator, I work with kids, and if you got a room of 25 at a time, you got 25 different personalities, 25 different home life situations, 25 different bad days that could be happening simultaneously. Yeah. And so what I appreciate about what you said were some of those physiological benefits that we get, and that psychological benefit, because we are in control of our mood. We are in control of how we allow the external factors to impact us internally, because we're adults and we get to make that choice. We A part of emotional management, emotional regulation, and emotional freedom. I'm learning that people assume because they're grown that they got it. It's something that we have to learn and practice. And I appreciate the fact that you shared your age earlier. And hey, you're sharing with us how we can do this, no, regardless of our age. So thank you for dropping those knowledge bombs and gems, because we need that. We are all about
Yeah.
reducing chronic stress, daily anxiety, and burnout with all of my content. And so I am glad that you are sharing that this is a simple, effective way that can be done. So, my next question is, how does laughter meditation fit into the broader practice of mindfulness and meditation?
Well, as you know, mindfulness is something that requires you as an individual to be present to. And mindfulness means just like what I just mentioned a few minutes ago. If you stub your toe, instead of getting angry, be mindful to laugh at yourself. It is a conscious decision to laugh at yourself instead of scolding you or a person. If the child or a person does something, laugh at it. Like, be light of heart. Be light of heart. It is so important. Mindfulness is really in a level of awareness, self-awareness. Like, how am I feeling? Checking in. Check in regularly. Don't just check in every, like, in the morning and at night. Check in during the day. How am I feeling? What's happening with me? And you can just be somewhere and just go and you can do that and nobody even know you laughing, and you just to yourself just got your lips slightly separated and you you know and sometimes I'm walking down the street smiling, and because I'm in my head having a whole conversation about being fantastic, being fabulous, being awesome. I'm enjoying the sun on my face. I feel really like I'm being mindful as I'm walking down the street, and I have a big smile on my face, and I start seeing random people as they walk by me smiling. They smiling back, and I'm thinking, why are they smiling at me? And I'm like, oh, because you got a smile on your face, girl.
That's it. And laughter is contagious. I know they say yawning is contagious, but so is laughter. So is a smile. So if you're going to spread something, spread that.
Okay, period. And that part,
Can we do that? So could
yes.
could you share with us, Natasha, some insights on how a laughter meditation or laughter yoga can be particularly beneficial for those dealing with stress and anxiety? Because we live in a world right now where there are so many things that are stressors, so many things that can make us anxious. And these things can become debilitating if we don't know how to cope. And what we share here or any of my other content is not a replacement for seeing a medical professional. However, there are some things that we can do on our own in our self care practices outside of, seeing a professional. So, laughter meditation, laughter yoga, how can it help us deal with stress and anxiety?
Well, to amplify your point about there's so many things out here to trigger, that triggers anxiety, triggers depression. Again, it's what you asked me before. Like, how do we do this? I'm like, mindfulness. We're in control of ourselves, right? I'm in control of me, you're in control of you. And being triggered by something is something within you get to heal. It's you If you're being triggered by something, there's a deeper conversation that gets to be had there. You need to say, why does said thing trigger me? Why does said person trigger me? Why do I feel anxious when this thing goes on? It is an internal job. Some people might need to go to therapy to figure that out, or do some coaching or what have you, because we have blind spots and
Yep.
we're not able to find all the answers out. And one of the things as women, I will say, and I'm going to ask you to ask me a question again because I'm getting off the beaten path a little bit. But as women, we tend to feel like we have to have all the answers. We can't not know everything. We got to wear a cape. We got to solve every solution. We got to rescue everybody. We got to fall on the sword. We got to people please. We got to wear our trauma on like a badge of honor. We don't allow ourselves. heal. We don't seek help when we need it. And I recently reached out to a client of mine, and I had talked, I said, I'm reaching out to you, seeing how you doing, how's everything. And her response was, "Oh, I'm going through a lot right now, and I'll get in touch with you when I whatever." That's when you're supposed to be calling for coaching.
That's when you need to reach out. And listen,
That's
every
when you need to reach out.
everything you just shared, Natasha, I think it's because we have been programmed to be strong, to be resilient. Don't let them see you sweat. Don't let, no. Let me. For everybody who's watching or listening to this, I want you to hear us and hear us clearly. If you don't stop and take care of you and fix those things, who's going to replace you? And I'm
Yeah,
not talking about, oh, well, they can get somebody else to do it. No, who's going to replace you in your life? Because chronic stress, anxiety, all these other things are deadly. Okay, they call stress the silent killer, and myself included, I'm recovering or have recovered from chronic stress, burnout, dealing with daily anxiety. I know that sometimes in communities of color, um, we are told to work harder to prove ourselves, and we end up trying to prove ourselves in every aspect of life. We want to be better, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to, you know, improve. But when we become obsessed, when we sacrifice ourselves for the benefit of others, it's not cool. Nobody
yeah.
wins,
When
and you are, and if you're not teaching other people how to do things for themselves because you're always jumping in to save the day, you're creating a system that sets you up to fail. And
exactly.
that's why I will die on the proverbial hill of talking about self-care, going to therapy, taking care of you first, putting on your oxygen mask. Because if you're taking care of them and you're taking care of them and you're taking care of them and nobody's pouring back into you, you don't have anything else to give. So that's
Yeah.
why it's important that you find a moment for you, make time for you, and do that deep personal work. When those triggers come up, oh, I talk to parents all the time. Kids do things a lot of times unintentionally from my experiences, and they trigger adults because those adults are facing something inside of them that has yet to be healed. And so that it's
Absolutely.
like,
And
oh, wait, this thing came up. Instead of reacting in a way that's not beneficial for you or others around you or in your life, get healed. And healing can be heavy and hard, but it is so worth it to unlearn those things and recognize those patterns that got you in the space of where you are.
yes. So it's deeper, right? So it's deeper than we're going a layer deeper. And I love to go the layer deeper because a lot of times people say things like self-care, anxiety, stress, you use those terms, and they're not really, they're saying, oh, do this thing. I could give you all the techniques I have, and I have a lot of them. But if you're not healing, they're not going to help you. You're still going to
That's
be
it.
triggered. You're still going to get anxious. You're still going to stress out
That's it.
because you're not healing. It's a band aid until you treat the wound.
That's right.
Until you treat the wound, it's just a band aid. And we
That's
not
right.
trying to be band aids around here. We trying to get you to treat the wound. And this idea of like you're perfect or you can't make any mistakes or you don't give yourself room to be human and have issues, make a mistake, have problems, and look to heal them. This is where we get to go. And to your point, I align with totally align with what you're saying. The programming of women. I personally believe that we've been taught from very early age, from toddlers, that we need to be good girls, be nice, don't ruffle anybody's feathers, don't be too sexy, but be make sure you able to get that partner, that man
Yeah,
or
be
whatever. But
feminine, but
you
not
know,
too sexy. Don't be
that's right.
loose.
Exactly. And so by the time and we've just named a few, but by the time you reach 20, 18, 20, 21, you don't even know who the hell you are anymore because now you're just a zombie, zombieing around trying to get that husband, that this and being living up to the societal standards of what you should be as a woman. And what I find when with my clients, by the time they get in their mid 40s or their early 50s, they have had enough and they're like, I'm no longer passionate about this thing I've been doing all my life. Like whatever it was, whatever their career is, they may go through a divorce. They don't even know who they are because they've been so and so's wife and so and so's mother. I don't know. People who have children. You're Frank's mother. So you're Johnny's mom or Susie's mom, right? So that's who you become, and you don't have you lose your identity. So because you don't even know who you are, and then you get married or you have children or both, and then you like lose your identity until you get and there's a switch that starts going off in you that's like, I done had enough of this. I'm not dealing with this crap no more. And then you're lost because you're like, I feel stuck. I don't know what to do, but I know I need to do something different. Or you're saying, I'm too old to get a new career. I'm too old to start that business. I'm too old to do all those things. And I'm the first one to tell people, you're not too old because I got on national TV at age 60. So you can't say, oh, and you constantly need to reinvent yourself, and that's what I coach women into, their how to age in excellence. What does that mean? How to be your best self in this stage of life, how to do it scared, how to
Yes.
get unstuck, how to figure out what's next for you, because then they like in their 60s they're saying, what's next for me? And I learned from my client. I have a client 91, and she constantly reinventing herself. She just retired from her second career at in August, and she just turned 91. And what she did when she retired, she started having Scrabble parties and read a book a day. That's what she wants to do now.
Okay.
And she went to Portugal last year.
Oh, I love it.
Right
Love
now
it.
taking a vacation up in Pennsylvania, chilling for a week. This is what we do. We gotta, your life isn't over because you turn a certain age, and that's where the taking care. What I'm hearing you say, taking care of yourself. I call it personal development
There you
because
go.
your personal care is different than my personal care. So the self-care is really a personal care. Because people don't like to journal, but they like to meditate. Some people don't like to, lift weights, but other people like to exercise. They like to walk. They like to take group classes. They may not do the working out by themselves. It's all signature, personalized to you. And so we get to take a deeper dive into what it is that I want after my children leave home and they go to college, after if I'm divorced or my husband pass away, what's next for me? That's what I'm working on with women, because some of us, and I see some of my friends like that, like they're just they're stuck in this thing, and I can see their spirit is dying for something else, but they just are so fixed, and they don't even know how to ask for help, and we got to get over that as women.
Yes.
Ask help.
Yes. Because I
Get
remember I remember being in a role where if people didn't know who to ask, they asked me because I knew who to
hmm
ask or I had the answer. And that actually led to more stress and anxiety, which also cause burnout. So we got to stop sacrificing ourselves. We got to stop trying to be the solution for everybody, and we have to find out who we really are. And if nobody taught us how to do it previously, then now is the perfect time to figure it out. And that's why I love what you do, Natascha, when you work with women as their pro aging maverick. I'm telling you.
That's because I've been through a lot of that stuff they going through. Like I can support you because I know what it's like to like people don't know this, but I have a son. My son has been in and out of jail. I know what it's like to have a child in prison. I know what it's like. My son was shot. I know what it's like to have a child. I know what it's like to lose people you love. I lost my father and my brother died 2 weeks apart in the same month, same year. I know what it's like to lose a loved one, people in your family. I've been through this, and a lot of this stuff happened for me when I was in my 50s. You know, life gives you some turns. Like, you could have never told me I was going to be raising some child at 50 something years old. That was not on my list. But, you know, like somebody said, you never know what God is going to assign you to. So you got to you got to just roll with the punches. You don't know what's happening. I know what's happening with the body. I used to be a size 2, size 0. Okay. I
Okay.
know what it's like
Okay.
gain weight and you never gained weight before. Or I know it's like to have weight put on you and you can't get it off. My mother was an obese woman and I just saw her struggle with weight. I think that's a large reason why when I was a trainer, my focus was weight loss because of my mother, right? So what you bring into the table, bring it because I can support you through it. And that's what we get to do. Invest in ourselves so we can get the work done. And I think that's the issue. Like we're willing to drop a ton of money, co-sign for this one to get that, or pay for that, or pay for this. But when it comes to ourselves, we not willing to do that. And I remember the first time I bought myself a Mac computer. I bought myself a computer, my first computer, Mac computer. I went in the store and I bought the computer. It was $700. I never forgot. I walked out the store and cried in the street because I had never spent $700 on myself in one thing. And so I get it. You know, what I'm saying is like I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm with you. I am with you on that. So when we're talking about the things that trigger us, things that can stress us out, things that can make us anxious, doing things or being impacted by things that lead to overwhelm and burnout, we know that we should find a solution, right? We know that we need help if we are aware of it. Sometimes people get stuck in the mentality of, oh, this is just how life is. And then sadly, they never get the help they need because they don't know they need help. But I think the women who are listening to or watching this podcast episode are here because they know they need the help. They know they want to do the work. So, with me working as an emotional freedom technique tapping coach, with you working with them as their life coach, helping them get through this particular stage, we can provide you with the coaching, with the tools you need to heal. But you got to know that you are worth investing in yourself, sis. You got to know that you are worth doing the work. You are worth saving, and that we need you. People in your life need you to be whole, to be. I won't. Sometimes I say be your best self, but sometimes I want to substitute that and say be the most favorite version of yourself. What is she like? Have you
Your
met her?
authentic self.
Yeah, and have you?
Yeah.
If you haven't met her yet, now is the time to become her. It's not too late. All right,
That part. That part.
so with
Part.
laughter, with laughter yoga or laughter meditation, are there specific groups of people, like maybe people with certain health conditions, who should not partake in this, or is it suitable for everyone?
So there's and I'm glad you asked that. So you had asked me a question a little while ago, and so one of the things I want to tell you before I get into that part is I want to tell you because I pulled up my notes here
Okay.
where I have laughter yoga, it these are the things that it's good for, right?
Mhm.
It boosts your immune system. It supports depression. It reduces anxiety and panic attacks. It it assists with improving heart disease and hypertension. It also assists with diabetes, bronchitis, asthma, and it's also good for cancer patients. And it reduces pain, assists with chronic illnesses, and it's overall, you know, mental health highlight, so it helps your mental state. Now, some of the things when you have laughter yoga, uh, if you have, what does it say here? I think it says if you have a hernia, is what it's saying. If you have a hernia, it starts with it's swelling, you don't need to do laughter yoga. If you have, if you notice you have incontinence, you need to see a doctor. It didn't say it's not for you, but of course you don't want to be laughing and sit there and pee on yourself in the class. So uh if you have chest pains or you know, heart problems. Of course, this is like a physical activity, so you need to make sure you check your doctor before you go into this. And if you have a problem with miscarriages, it's something to be aware of. Major surgeries, of course, you need to heal 3 months or so. After then you could participate. Severe backaches, epilepsy. You know, um, those are things that you can avoid when you have that. And based on the things that you were speaking about, I don't really think laughter yoga it will forbid anybody from using it unless they had those conditions, those particular conditions I just read off. But yeah, it's and I tell you, you think you're just laughing, but when you do the exercises, moving the arms, and we have different types of exercises that we do. And I know you're going to ask me to do something about that, and we will do it. But you can burn some calories. You can burn some calories. You get a little nice little workout with laughter yoga. You ain't gonna feel it today doing this, but if you were to do a class with me, you'd be like, "Whoo, child! Your abs work. You get your facial muscles working, so you ain't got to worry about no wrinkles." It's very, very it's very good. And all the moving around, you burn a lot of calories. We have something called a laughter dance. So when we're in class, we do it all together. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And I will tell you, one of the things that I notice, especially people who are really serious, when they come to take laughter yoga, they're very apprehensive. Like people are very apprehensive. It does feel weird that you laughing for no reason at all. But the truth of the matter is children laugh 300 times more than adults. And so they just laugh and have fun just because. So that means you need to take a page out of their book. So it does feel uncomfortable because you sitting there going, and the main thing people need to know is that we laugh together. We don't laugh at each other because sometimes people have an ism that may have come up with being laughed at home or whatever in their house. So we laugh together. We don't laugh at each other, and we have fun. And these things are very, very important to support people's mental health, right? We laugh together, not at each other, right? And we let folks know all of those things and that they can breathe and have fun and be easy in this. And it's just everybody is coming to have a good time. They not really, and you do get those people in there, they kind of like, especially our folks, they're like, what? They, how we do, like, what's all that? So
You
yeah,
brought
you
up,
get
you brought up some interesting things, and Because I consider myself a person who likes to laugh, and I laugh a lot, except for when it's inappropriate to. But you're right. Sometimes people consider like, what is that? I don't. So they may be more self conscious, more reserved, or maybe they're really really serious. How can
Mm-hmm.
someone who's like that ease into the practice of a laughing meditation or laughter yoga?
You just gotta do it. You gotta allow yourself to let your guard down. You just gotta be easy, like be light of heart. I have a friend, and she always used to say, "Wear life like a loosely fitted jacket." And when she first said that to me, I was like, "What are you talking about?" But you have to really imagine when you have a loosely fitted jacket on or coat, and it's blowing in the wind, it's moving back, it's going with the flow of things. And so it took me a long time to process that thought because I was so rigid in my thinking. And it's like, yeah, wear life like a loosely fitted jacket instead of everything being a thing. Like I remember a few weeks ago I went to Whole Foods and I was on the phone with a friend of mine who's hypercritical, right? She's hypercritical about everything. She's very judgmental, which means that she's like that to herself, right? I get it. And within herself, she's like that. And so I was on the phone with her and I went to the cash register and I went to pick up a paper bag. Now in New York, you have to pay for bags when you get them in the store, right? And the lady said, put a hand on the bag. She said, those are not for sale. And my friend's on the phone. She said, she ain't got to be so nasty. I hear her all the way on the phone. Like I was just like, I wasn't even bothered. I was like, okay, you feel like you need to guard the bags, okay, whatever. I just went around to the other side and picked up the bags and went on. I'm like, that's not going to stop me from getting a bag for free, right? So I was just like, I'm going to get a bag. But it's just like, I'm on the phone with you talking about Z, and you all up in my business, but see, if I didn't have my head on straight, I would have went right with her conversation. Like, you ain't got to be so nasty. I'm not getting into that energy. You have all that funk over there by yourself. You want to guard the bags and you want to be. I'm like, you can have all of that. I don't want none of that.
With you. I'm with you. We gotta pick our battles, and that's one that just ain't it. It don't take all that. It didn't take all that.
Why they like that? Why they gotta be like? I ain't got no energy for that.
Mm.
It's so it's interesting, right? I can be around a group of women, and we're all going somewhere, and we're all in a place, and they're chatting about something and gossiping about something. Honey, I'm in a whole nother. I ain't even thinking about that stuff. I don't even find out about it till way after the fact. And I was like, that they talk about all that because I'm so busy trying to have a good time. I'm not thinking about none of that.
Right.
I ain't got time for that. Over there, as the Spanish people go bo ching ching about something. I'm not doing none of that.
I
I'm
got
having me
you.
a good time. I'm in the moment. We over here doing this. Y'all over there talking about that. Mm-mm,
Yeah. We
mm-mm.
don't need that energy. We don't need that energy.
No, keep my
So
blonde wig on.
so before I ask you to lead us through a brief example of a laughter meditation, I first want to ask you, what are some common misconceptions or challenges people face when they first try laughing meditation? I know we talked about, sometimes if we're too serious, we got to learn how to loosen up. If we're not used to the idea as laughing as much as children do, or if children's laughter would maybe triggers us for some reason, like we got to learn to deal with that. We got to learn to, work on us. But what what are some common misconceptions or challenges people have? especially if it's their first time trying the meditation.
They feel like it's silly. It's silly, it's foolish, um, it's childish, it's embarrassing, you know, people to laughter is a form of vulnerability. It is a form of vulnerability, especially for somebody who's always like,
Yeah, yeah, that straight face, never crack a smile, tight
right,
lipped.
right. And so when you see somebody like that laugh, you're like, I didn't even know they could smile. So it's a level of vulnerability that one has, right? And I say this because I will tell you that I was very intense at one time. I mean, I'm still intense, but I used to be intense on like the kind of serious side. And I remember it must be maybe about 20 something years ago, I had this student in my class and we became friends, and she was so silly, and she would always be saying just she had these one liners, and I would be start cracking up with her, right? And then one time we was going somewhere, and then I started acting silly, but then she's like, oh, okay, you, right? So just like, so we used to, and we became like almost like a freaking frat, right? And people used to say, "Are y'all sisters?" And she's like 5'10" and I'm 5 feet, so it's like this kind of like misfit partnership. But she used to tell people, I let her inner child come out and play, and she reels me in. So she's like, her role was to allow my inner child to come out and play, and my role was to reel her inner child in.
Oh,
She would get way out there, and I would just have to give her a look. You know how Mama used to
yeah.
do. So that's a confession. You're hearing it first to be online that I used to be very uptight and very intense in a serious way.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've ever shared that aspect of myself to anyone before. But yes,
And since I never knew that version of you, I never would have guessed. Excuse me. Since I didn't know that version of you, I never would have guessed it. Right? Because, like I
yeah.
said, when I met you, you are up at 8 o'clock in the morning, already ready for the day, live, energetic, just a passion in your voice. And even now we're recording this in the evening, but I can't tell that if your energy is ready to go to bed, if you're sleepy, if you're tired. I don't know that. I don't know that.
Yeah.
Right.
I
So,
have family members that will dispute you on that,
okay.
down to, but like, yeah, she can get there.
I look, because you're human, because you are human, it happens. We all go through it, right? All right. So, I'm going to ask you, Natascha, to lead us through a brief example of how one can start a laughing meditation at home, or if they choose to replay this particular segment, they get to participate in one if they do it with us in real time as they're listening. We've talked about how you can benefit from it mentally, psychologically, physiologically. Um, so the last thing left for us to do is to try it together.
Okay, and we'll do that, and you'll reciprocate what I'm doing.
Yes.
And before we do that, the one thing I do want to emphasize here is sharing that aspect of myself is to let women on here know, the listeners know, that when you do the work, I'm a product of somebody who's done a lot of work to be my best self or to be my authentic self. And I shared that with you all so you can know that if you're a person who's very serious, or you don't feel like you feel like you tight all the time, that you can grow and do the work to be a person who's light of heart and easygoing. And it ain't easy, but if you're willing to do the work works when you work it.
There you go. There you go. Like, drop the mic.
So our first Our first exercise is going to be a laughter exercise. And we're going to go aloha. So follow me.
Hello.
Aloha. Aloha.
Hello. So we're raising
Aloha.
up the arms and lowering them with the laugh.
Aloha.
Hello.
And then we're gonna go into waving your hand like a princess in a parade, and you go. It's called a greeting laughter. Again, you're gonna go. And then another one we can say here. My name is Natascha, and I go. You all laugh with me, and then I say my birthday month is December. So I'm gonna do it now.
Okay.
My name is Natascha. My birthday month is December. And Martita, you're next.
My name is Martita. My birthday month is July.
And now we're gonna do a hum laughter. We're gonna go. Join me. Mm, mm,
Mm.
mm,
Mm.
mm, mm.
Mm.
And then we take a deep breath in, exhale out. Deep breath in, exhale out. Deep breath in, exhale out. And then we're going to take our laughter water and we're going to drink it down. And we're going to and now we're going to go very good, very good. Yay. Throw your hands up after you clap twice. Very
Very good.
good,
Very good. Yay.
very good, very
Very
good.
good. Yay.
One time. Very
Very good.
good.
Very good. Yay.
And that is our laughter yoga session.
I love it. I love it. Like my cheeks hurt. We've been laughing and smiling and talking throughout this whole conversation, but now like my cheeks hurt. The bottom of my stomach is starting to activate.
Ab work. It's an ab
Yes.
workout.
Yes. So I'm not saying skip the gym. I am saying laugh more, y'all.
Right. Because it's gravy to what you're doing in the gym.
Oh, I love it,
And the
Natasha.
good thing about it is that when you laugh, it helps to lift your keep your facial muscles lifted up for those of you worrying about getting wrinkles and all that.
Okay, look, anti-aging,
Okay?
anti-aging,
Pro-aging.
pro-aging,
Pro-aging.
pro-aging. My bad. The skincare world pushes anti-aging. We talk about pro-aging with Natasha. Natasha is the pro-aging maverick of Hardee Life. You can find her on Instagram and TikTok at her handle Hardee Life. That's HARDEELIFE, which will be in the show notes or caption if you're watching this on a different platform. So, Natasha, before we get ready to close, what is something you would like our audience to know today?
your audience to know that age is just a number, it's not a limitation, and you can reinvent yourself as many times as you desire in your life. You're never too old to start. And if anyone wants to reach out to me about coaching, the programs I have available for aging, for women to pro age, and the topics that I cover, feel free to DM me, private message me, reach out to me. I'm happy to update you and share with you what I have available.
Love it so, so much. Thank you, Natascha. It was a pleasure, a true pleasure having you on today. And this is such a hilarious way to take care of ourselves, to help our mental well being, to support our pro aging mentality. So
Yes.
typically on my podcast, I'll close with a emotional freedom tapping meditation. But today it just was so appropriate that we ended with the laughter meditation. And I hope that people let us know in the comments, let us know in the captions how much this impacted them today. We would love to hear from you all.
Exactly. I also would like to let people know that I do laughter yoga sessions virtually and in person, and I also do speaking engagements. So,
Love it. Yes, indeed. All right. Well,
oh,
we're going to go ahead and wrap up our episode here. And until the next one drops, you know what to do. Keep tapping with Tita. You can find me on all social media platforms at Martita Robbins. That's MartitaRobbins. And I'll catch you in the next one. If you liked this episode, subscribe or follow to keep tapping with Tita. Share it with your friends too so they can also heal and level up. Be sure to leave a comment or a review because we love hearing from you.